Great question. So some of our biggest wins have been, we'll talk about the solar space in particular, have been providing companies with tools to help them convert paid traffic at a higher rate. So one of those would be we created a solar calculator plugin. Other things we're doing are helping dealers create high intent sales funnels to help nurture the leads all the way through the purchase process. That basically uses a combination of real-time calendar bookings, texts, emails, and even RVMs, which are ringless voicemails, to make sure that no lead is mismanaged. And a couple other things we make that have been very successful have been, we call them the good bots. We're now creating bots that help companies, basically, find data at scale without having to have a salesperson do it. And then one of the most important things on that note is like protecting yourself from what we call bad bots. There is almost half of all paid search in Google, Microsoft, and Facebook are being clicked on by those platforms. So Google is clicking on their own ads to inflate their revenue. I'll tell you, the lead quality in paid leads has declined and the costs are increasing rapidly.
So is there anything that you attribute that to?
Oh, for sure. The more online competition is the primary driver that increased cost for paid lead and search. And we expect that to continue to increase now that the ITT has stepped up for the next 10 years. There's going to be a lot more companies jumping in the market and that also puts the customer at risk. And it's a shady industry, pun intended. And there are more than 1 million orphaned homeowners in America right now. And that means that either their panel and inverter manufacturers no longer in business, their installers no longer in business, or both. So, the more competition that comes online, more people need more leads and they become degraded and more expensive. Yeah, I would say the most important thing is to not put all your eggs in one basket. Just because solar reviews did great last quarter doesn't mean it's going to continue. And you want to make sure that the companies you work with are transparent and that you understand the type of reporting that you're receiving from them. It's trustworthy. You definitely want to ask the right questions and set expectations for what we call attribution. Who's going to get credit for the lead? Because especially with online, it's not just one thing, right? We talk about our website as like the mothership of communication. We're driving traffic to it from all different types of sources. So it's very important when later determining where we need more leads, where are we going to put our money, it needs to be fairly allocated to the correct tools to make sure you're getting the bang for your buck. As more companies shift funds online, I think it's really important to maintain a marketing mix and set expectations. Just because you spent X on Google Ads last year and had this result does not necessarily mean that if you spend the same amount or even more that you'll experience the same results. It's really important to understand the data so that you can pivot quickly. Companies that are not carefully watching their digital spend can find themselves in a pickle when Google, Microsoft, or Facebook, or any of the media exchanges change bid strategies, which they do frequently. So you cannot set and forget like you could in the past without risking dangerous exposure and unfavorable results. And it could be too late by the time you realize you spent $20,000 you didn't want to, in a couple days. Oh, well, I think referrals and reviews are like one of the most effective ways to drive increased leads. And I will say that, the customer is very savvy now and they care deeply about peer reviews and they're looking, they want that confidence and that's how they're finding it. In the old way of communication before the internet, it was very one way. The media spoke to the customer. With the internet, the opportunity to engage with customers in a two-way dialogue has really given consumers much more confidence and made everyone more honest overall. So I think as an industry, home services don't ask for their first review soon enough. For instance, here I am, I've sold someone solar and they're really happy with their decision that they made to buy from SunSpear, for instance. We should be asking for that first review on the solar sales experience right away. And then after the installation or this roof is complete, that's when you decide if you want to ask for a second review. But it's very, very important.
Yeah, and I think it shares some similarities with reviews. You have to ask early and often for referrals. it's not at a specific time when you did a great job. It could be at any point that you ask for a referral.
Look for companies who are going to screen share with you and show you live reports to the data. You know, you're going to see the AdWords account. You're going to see your remarketing dashboard and analytics, because then you know they can't be fabricated. Another thing is you always want to ask about commissions. It's common to work with agencies or whatnot that do work with commission. I'm very against commissions. I think that they're antiquated and makes anything that you're recommending should be because you're going to make more money for the client, not because you're getting a cut. So identify first, what are your goals? What are you willing to spend to acquire one new customer? And then you want to make a combination of search marketing, remarketing, of course, which is that cyber stalking, very important. And I would do some targeted direct mail.